Hi there, Dr. Vicki Lemper here with the Shift Happens channel. Today, we are going to talk about how the ego plays a part in manifesting and how we can really dig deep and be able to go beyond the ego and manifest from the heart where it's sustaining and not just a fear-based one and done type of quick little manifestation and then you go back to your old self. So stay with me. I'm going to probably ramble. I've got notes here because I really want to get this out to you. So as always, like, share, and comment. Let me know how you're doing. And if there's a topic out there that you want to discuss. Also, if you want one-on-one coaching, go ahead and sign up with me at shifthappenslifecoaching@gmail.com. I can't wait to work with you. I so appreciate every single one of you. I love you all. I always learn from you just as much as you learn from me. So let's get to it. The ego. Whoa. Now remember, the ego is there to protect us originally, and it still is, right? But we have to really recognize the trickery of that darn little ego. Okay, so let's go with the SP. Everybody's always very interested in the SP and how we can get our specific person. I do want to set aside a note. Specific person does not always mean romantic. It could be a parent, a sibling, a friend, a coworker, etc. Okay, but we'll go on to the SP because I know all of you really are desiring someone to love, and why not? That is your birthright. Okay, but on to the ego mind. Remember, when we start really taking a look at the ego mind, you be prepared because there are going to be some limiting beliefs that will be revealed. The more honest you can be with yourself, the more quicker or like enlightenment will happen. And the more you shine light on that ugliness of some of those negative emotions, because think about the negative emotions like jealousy, envy, worry, anxious, depression, all of those things are really at the seed of things. Rejection. And in fact, we're going to really focus on rejection. So you have to remember that your desires are not separated from you. You need to manifest with your heart and with your desire, with true heart. But sometimes that ego gets in the way, like, careful, you're going to get rejected. So let's go over here. Okay, so there's several things. How do we look at that and go beyond the ego? Safety. Oftentimes the ego is really based in safety. It wants to keep you safe. Like, careful, you don't want to get hurt, right? And rejection, especially when you're concerned with the SP, is a big one, okay? And oftentimes those beliefs come in our childhood, right? And when we go back and take a look at those, I don't want you to linger there. You don't even have to have the specific story. You can have the feeling of rejection, and maybe a specific story comes up, but we can really unravel that and kind of soften that and be able to release that fear of rejection. And that is what we're after, okay? So when we look at things in the 3D, we often give meaning that ego does, like, careful, see that they're not really trustworthy. They're telling you they want to see you, but do they really? Careful, because remember in the past, someone else was you thought were honest with you, and then they betrayed you, right? For whatever reason, you're going back and that ego saying, careful of what you're seeing in the 3D, right? So then we need to do a little self-inquiry about the subjects. Draw up into the consciousness, the past that's still alive in your subconscious. The subconscious means beneath your consciousness, right? It's powerful because you don't know the attachment and the meaning you've assigned with all of those events and all of those beliefs. So, for instance, rejection, we make assumptions based on the egoic fear to keep you safe from being rejected, okay? So your conscious mind is more your ego, where it's like, careful. You've seen this before. You've heard this before. You really want this. So be careful because you're going to get hurt even more because you really like this person, right? So then we do adaptive assumptions. We look at something in the 3D and you already reject that person, and you are rejecting them before they reject you, right? Because remember, they mirror everything that you have. It's like like in the past when you see it in the 3D. So you convince yourself, and we call this adaptive assumptions, where it's like, I'm okay. I like being alone. I'm independent. I don't need anyone, right? So if you see yourself being rejected, it's like, that's fine. I love being alone. I mean, I don't even want anybody. Why would I want anybody? I am fine. Which part of that could be true, but the other part is if you really are honest with yourself, you're like, I'm still putting up my walls. You can't hurt me. And you can't reject me because I'm rejecting myself first, right? And it's a little trickery that we do with that. And so you have to bypass that consciousness and go deeper. So what does it mean about me that this is in place? That is always what you need to be asking yourself. So when you really nail it down to rejection, okay, we're going to keep with this rejection thing and say, okay, what about rejection defines me? What does that mean to me? You know, where have I felt this before? When did I do this? And a lot of times we go into a meditative state where you go back into it and you feel yourself. So your SP with the third party, that's especially a big one, right? Wow, look, they're with that third party, so there's no way I can get it. Good luck. You're gonna get rejected. Don't even try. Don't even try, right? So what does it mean about that my SP is somebody else, that they are choosing another person? You have to dig deeper because you're not choosing yourself. You're choosing to look at the rejection already before it's even in here, right? So you have to go bypass the consciousness, the ego, and the rationalizing, I don't know, but, and go into your body and actually assess that has a meaning attached to that second party or even your SP or your third party. So when you feel that rejection and you feel that fear of, careful, here it comes again, where do you feel it? Do you feel it all over your body? And when you are able to kind of attach or understand where that emotional attachment is feeling in your body, then you can go a little bit deeper and go, when else did I feel it in my body, right? So and then think of the story. What is the story you're attaching to that ego when that ego is saying, careful, you felt this before, you really want this, right? So feel the body, take a look at the story, go into the past, but don't linger too long. Again, you don't have to have that specific story. You could have that feeling of rejection. Maybe it could be as simple as, I was waiting for my dad to pick me up from school and he was a little bit late. I was the last one picked up, so therefore I felt rejected, you know, or whatever. Or maybe some kids said, oh boy, you know, look at what you have on. And you knew that your family couldn't afford a really nice outfit. And so you took it as, oh, I'm being rejected. I don't belong. People, whatever the story, right? We all have infinite possibilities for stories. So be aware of your emotion. Identify that specific emotion that is fueling the story. And then the emotion is one that I am refusing to feel. So when you are feeling, careful, and it's not even, sometimes it's beyond rejection and it's like, oh, I'm not chosen. Or maybe I feel like the third party is better than me. You know, there's so many things, right? And there could be several things just on one event. So take one emotion at a time. Rejection. Look at the story. Feel it in your body. Go back and feel it when you were younger. And the emotion that you are feeling is the part that you are rejecting in yourself, right? So recultivate a sense of safety. So when you go back, go, you know what? It's okay, because now you can look at it as a third party. So you feel rejected. Let's go with the dad didn't pick me up. I was the last one picked up. So therefore I felt rejected. Everybody else's parents came and I had to sit here and wait with my teacher, which really felt like I was, you know, in detention and I wasn't worthy, right? Feel it. And then look at it, take yourself out of that scene and look at it as an observer, more objective. And go, you know what? My dad got tied up at work. He was talking to people and he just lost track of time. It didn't mean that he didn't love you any less. It just meant, gosh, you know, life gets away with us because now we're adults and we know how that goes, right? And so it had nothing to do with you. And often none of these things had anything to do with you. You just interpreted it as, well, there goes all my friends off with their parents and I'm waiting here, you know? And so retell that story, soften it objectively outside of yourself. And then reclaim and feel the process, that anger, that fear, that rejection, that safety, that you're running away from your emotions. When you are feeling, unsafe, you're running away. Oh, I'm not going to feel this again. Just that ego is trying to keep you safe. No, you just allow it. Because the minute you face on that rejection and you feel it, and it might take 1 or 2 times to do that meditation where you're going back, you're feeling it in your body, you're feeling the story, you're really telling that story, and then you're going to retell it, reframe it in a way of a more objective piece where you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is how it is. That makes me feel better, and soften and soothe and be your cheerleader, right? Rejection is just an experience. Rejection is just an experience. Just like you experience happiness, you experience calm, you experience anger. All of those are temporary. It's just an experience. And it goes through you. And it's okay. It's temporary. You're not attached to that identity. And that's what we're trying to do by going back and feeling it and retelling that story. And feeling that feel and changing that feel where it's like, it's okay, right? It's just an experience, it's a moment, and you're still gonna be okay, right? So feel it, let yourself have that anger, when you're in that moment. Don't ever suppress those feelings, because the more you suppress it, it always bubbles up. And if you look at the tendencies you have in relationships, all those same things tend to come up until you take a moment and just take that courage and go, you know what, I'm going to address this. I no longer want to feel rejected. I no longer want to be afraid to love. I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to be okay because I know it's an experience. I know it's a feeling. I know came from the past, and it might even bubble up again. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be afraid of rejection in the future. It just means I know how to handle it now. That is just an emotion. It's a story I'm telling, and it's my ego saying, careful, careful, careful. And then you go beyond that ego and you go, oh, wait a minute. Remember who you are. You are source. Source works through you as you. Source wants nothing to do with having you feel pain. Source does not go over into those negative emotions. Source does not go, ooh, careful. You're not going to come out of that okay. You're going to come out of it just fine because God's got your back, right? It's that ego that's saying, ooh, you're going to look ridiculous. Your pride is going to just take a hit on this one, sister. You're going to put yourself out there and you're going to get rejected. And everybody's going to see it. Everybody's going to think lowly of you. That's what your ego is trying to say to you. And then we need to jump deeper and go deeper, because that's just your logical mind going, remember this and remember that. That's what happens. And we forget that we have infinite possibilities. We are all possibilities. We are right now awareness. We are awareness. I am awareness. I am source. Source works through me as me. There's infinite potential, infinite possibilities, infinite solutions, infinite stories. You get to choose. That's the power you have, right? So clearing away those attachments. It is an attachment. It's a story that your ego developed, and you attach that story with that emotion, and it keeps popping up. Take the time to really feel it and go with it, and then tell yourself another story. Be that person that's saying, gosh, Vicki, you are a beautiful person. You're okay. You're okay. And just because this little thing didn't manifest in a way you thought it should, that's all right. You're still living and breathing and beautiful and loving, right? Whew, that ego. It gets in the way of a lot of manifesting. I'm going to do another video soon about it because I think it's really important, because I have had a lot of people come up and we really went back into the childhood not long. but we helped to identify some fear-based stories. And then we reclaimed it, we felt it, and then we reframed a better telling story and remembered who we were deep at our core. I am Source. Source works through me, asked me, what could go wrong? All right, until next time, we'll see you. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and commenting. If you need life coaching, I'm here for you, right? Just get a hold of me at shifthappenslifecoaching@gmail.com. Until next time, love and appreciate you. Bye.